Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly
Golf balls!
Alex,
I'm just kidding. Not that we're not doing the same joke 2 weeks in a row.
Alex, I cringed. I braced for a second there.
I do have a bowling ball over there, so I could have used that.
Please don't.
I didn't.
Please,
That's why it's over there and not over here.
I'm very glad.
Me too.
So the man obsessed with dumping balls all over my body is Alex.
Yes, and you can take that out of context.
Please don't.
Wink.
And my name is Mike. Welcome to the Weekly Undertaking.
Hello.
This is the 22nd episode of the Weekly Undertaking. Before we actually start dealing...
The Weekly Undertaking?
Before we actually start...
I wanted to finish the trifecta that you have laid.
Okay. Well, before we start the Weekly Undertaking...
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything interesting that happened to you this week, Alex?
Let's think. Nope. What about you?
Well... The past week has been interesting. As you recall, the last episode we recorded, I mentioned that I had gotten hit by a car.
Yes.
In the week since that incident, I have been in a car accident and chased by a dog. So this was...
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you were in another car accident?
Yeah, but I was in my car this time.
Oh,
and
great.
Thankfully, it was very minor damage. It was just, a new dent.
Glad to see you're changing things up.
Yes.
What happened?
I was driving, and someone had thought I had gone, but I had not. And he rolled into my car. And as you've seen my car, you know there are many dents and scratches in it already.
Just a new one for the collection.
Exactly. It wasn't really that big a deal. No one got hurt. No need to make anything big on it. But later that night, I was chased by a dog.
What kind of dog?
It was dark. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So it was either a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler.
All right, those are dogs that's fair to run away from. I was hoping you would say like Chihuahua.
Oh man, I will say, the smaller the dog is, the more vicious it is.
Yeah, that's true.
The Chihuahuas are some of the scariest dogs on the planet.
But they're not gonna overtake you.
Not one of them. One of them won't, but a swarm of them might.
That would be awesome. That would be a great movie, Chihuahua Swarm.
The swarm of
It's
Chihuahuas.
like Sharknado's sister movie.
Yeah. I'm just imagining just like the protagonist of this movie standing in the distance and you just hear a single yip, 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 and then it slowly crescendos.
It's like a stampede.
Yeah, and then the guy just takes off his sunglasses, just like Mother of God, and coming around is just like a tidal wave of chihuahuas, just going yip, 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 just very aggressively. I want to see this movie now.
Let's make it.
If we had CGI money,
Dude, yeah.
that would be a great bit.
No, we have friends. We'll buy little Chihuahua masks. We'll make a skit.
I don't know if that's more or less terrifying. Just an idea of humans dressed as chihuahuas chasing after.
I dig it.
That's something out of a really absurdist Purge movie.
Or like a furry convention.
Again,
Even worse.
I don't know which is more terrifying. Oh man.
Well, we're getting along great, but that's not gonna last.
Yeah, that's very true. Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're debating today.
Yes, the last week, for those of you loyal listeners, last week we decided that we were going to have an argument over this podcast, but we didn't determine on the last podcast what that was.
But now we have. Yes.
The nerd fight to end all nerd fights. We are debating who would win in a fight.
Marvel.
Or DC?
Yeah.
Well, not exactly Marvel or DC, specifically
The Avengers or the Justice League?
the Avengers versus the Justice League.
Yes, okay.
And what position are you taking today?
I'm taking Marvel. And Michael, what position are you taking since it's not obvious?
I am taking the Teen Titans.
Oh!
Changing. No, I'm taking the Justice League.
Tights of Glory.
Yeah. That was a great TV show.
Yeah. I've only seen a few episodes.
Really? That was like my favorite show as a kid.
Yes. Now, Michael, have you any experience with the debate?
With the debate?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Would you call yourself a master debater?
Yeah, I guess I would, Alex.
Would you say you're a really good master debater?
Yes, Alex, I guess I would.
Would you say you master debate every day, or?
I would not say that.
Sorry, I'm done with this joke.
Oh, jeez. Yes.
It's okay. On the boat, on boats, they call me the masturbator. That's even worse.
Ew.
Well, because I like to put the fish on people's hooks.
I get it.
The masturbator.
You're masterful at the skill of baiting
Yes.
the fish. Yes.
So what's your history with debates?
I mean, I'm a comic book nerd through and through. So I mean, and I had friends that were also gigantic nerds. So I have had a lot of arguments, including this one, but not exclusively this one, about comic book and nerd culture. And I mean, I was on the mock trial team in high school, so I also had a lot of fun arguing with that.
Wow.
And yeah.
All right.
What is your experience with comic book culture in particular, and or debating as a whole?
As far as comics go, I think I've said this a few times over the course of the podcast, but I never really was too into comic books ever. Even today, I've only read a handful.
Really, I know that you're very into superhero movies.
Oh yeah, I'm one of the few million people that really got into superheroes once Marvel started kicking ass in the movie department.
That's true. Marvel did a very good job of making nerd culture mainstream.
And that's awesome. And that's when I really came out as a nerd. You know, before that I was a Nintendo nerd and a band geek and
what was your instrument?
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yes, but I also play the what's it called? The didgeridoo.
The didgeridoo?
Yes.
Was that the thing that was played very annoyingly during every game of the South Africa World Cup?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to go get it.
Oh, please don't.
Keep them entertained.
Oh my god.
I'll be right back.
This is the most annoying instrument in the world. Anyway, while Alex is getting his didgeridoo, I should mention that I grew up reading comic books galore. My dad has about 5 foot lockers full of just, oh god, he's got the didgeridoo. It is, what is that? That's got to be like 5 foot tall.
Let's see. No, that's probably around 4 feet.
4.5? Yeah, something like that.
All right, you ready?
You're gonna play it? Please don't. Oh god. Are you satisfied? Oh.
Got excited.
Performance anxiety happens to everyone.
Hang on.
Oh man,
this thing is big. Okay.
That was I believe that was "Don't Stop Believin'," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
By Michael Jackson.
Yeah. that's the one. That's the one. I was just telling them that I have a lot of experience reading an abundance of comic books.
I heard you.
Yeah.
We have very thin walls here.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, regardless, my dad has a lot of comic books. He was responsible for a lot of my comic book knowledge. Hello, Dad.
Yeah.
He's probably listening.
Yeah. Hi, Mike's dad.
Yeah.
But as far as comic book history goes for me, that's about it. But debate history, I've gotten really into debating recently.
Into debating or into debating?
Into debating.
Okay.
As Mike has a few weeks back, you might remember that we did the video game challenge, and I got really into Danganronpa for a week.
You did.
That's my entire background involving debates.
Oh.
So you'll probably hear me go more than a couple times, no, that's wrong! And then a little graphic will come up, and it'll be like, shh, break. That's what happens, right, in debates?
That is, yes. Actually, in every fun story, in every courtroom in the world, you need to have specifically the gun, the debate gun that they have in Danganronpa.
Oh, this is easy then. I just have to watch what you say until I see your words come out in orange.
Yes, exactly. And then you shoot.
I'm gonna win.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get started,
yes,
I want to know seriously, and you can deny this, despite whose sides we have taken, who do you genuinely think would win this fight?
Do you wanna give honest opinions now after the fight?
I wanna hear your honest opinion.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm interested. If you don't mind,
I would. My honest opinion is the Avengers, but I'll be honest.
Really?
I'll be arguing Justice League.
My honest opinion is the Justice League, so I'll be arguing the Avengers.
Do you want to switch positions?
I did all my research on the Avengers.
Okay. All right. I mean, the argument can be made either way.
Yeah, this will be funny.
Yeah.
So honestly, one of us will make a statement, and the other one will be like, "Yeah, I agree."
I mean, I'm gonna be passionally debating one way or another.
I'm gonna
be passionately debating for the Justice League.
Mike, I'm gonna try my damn best. But you know I'm not much of a fighter. I
No,
am a
you're
lover, and I like to say, "Oh, I've never thought about it that way before."
Yeah, this is not gonna.
No, the Justice League is going to win because you are a better debater than me.
I am a better
debater.
Debater.
Sorry, I got confused.
I suck at sticking fish on hooks. but I'm good at making arguments.
All right. Do you want to start
Okay,
fighting?
So, yes, let's do it. So, what the way that we broke this down is not only are we debating the general idea is the general teams, but I think that we should start debating the actual
hero versus hero action.
Right.
Hero on hero.
The hero on hero fights, so that we can figure out, that stuff. Anyway, so the first, I think that the first thing that we should bring up is the heavy hitters.
Yeah, the two strongest teammates on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Superman and Thor. Of course, Superman has that hands down, 100%.
I'm compelled to agree with you, but I definitely wouldn't think Thor would go down without a fight.
I mean, but Superman is literally the most overpowered hero in anything ever.
But before we continue,
Yeah.
I want to establish the rules of this fight and this world.
There are rules?
I want to know the specifics because I have an awesome point to make much later on.
What do you mean you have an awesome point to make?
Just it's gonna be cool, but I want to know. In this fight, are these two groups of heroes, have they always been in the same world, or are they meeting for the first time and fighting for reasons unknown?
Oh, so you want to know about the setup?
I want to establish this, so I have.
Okay, let's say, for sake of argument, that these heroes are fighting on neutral territory.
So just like a field,
some space that is not innately known to either the Justice League or the Avengers.
Okay.
Some not necessarily a plain old field.
Just an area.
Just an area that neither team is familiar with.
Fair.
And let's say that they have a week of prep time.
A week of prep time. How much information on each other do they
have? I guess as much as they're able to dig up.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. So anyway, Superman, most overpowered hero in in any pop culture, anything. So I think he's got this hands down.
Maybe if it was 1-on-1, I might be compelled to agree with you.
I mean,
which is why my argument's not going to be very strong right now. But
we're debating who's tougher, Thor or Superman. How can you argue either way? I mean, Thor doesn't have kryptonite.
Well, Superman is super because he's on Earth. Thor is a god anywhere.
Well, I mean,
so
Superman is super not because he's on Earth, but because of the yellow sun. And if we're fighting on neutral territory, I mean, we're not going to be under a red sun, which is what takes Superman's powers away. We're not going to be fighting under that. Just like we're not going to be fighting under, I think it's the blue sun that gives him amplified powers. If you can even imagine that. So let's keep it like, come on.
You know what's upsetting?
This
is already going better than I was expecting for me. I thought this would be going even worse at this point.
Well, I mean, listen, Thor is incredible, but like, honestly, Thor, like I said, Thor is a bruiser. He's not gonna be smart enough to find kryptonite somewhere.
I don't think he needs kryptonite. I think he just needs strength. Superman is let's establish this too. I'd say Superman is just like he's like a human on super steroids.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Captain America is a human on super steroids.
That's not what I meant. Like he's an extra.
He's an extraterrestrial, just like Thor is.
Yes, and because he's an extraterrestrial, he is given strength because of the sun and the Earth's gravitational pull, or the lack thereof, from when he was on Krypton.
The reason, so I will say, there has been a lot of change in the source of Superman's powers over the years. Initially, the reason that Superman could fly was because of the lack of gravitational pull. Modern day, which is what I think we should argue, because Superman's, in the old times, Superman's writers just made up powers for him on the spot. At one point, they literally, like, there are so many crazy examples of him, like, just using his heat vision to build a car, for example, just because it was needed in the story. But modern day, the reason that he has powers is because of the yellow sun, not necessarily Earth's gravitational pull. And the reason he doesn't have it on Krypton is because Krypton has a red sun.
Okay.
So again, if we're under a yellow sun, which I would argue that we would need to be...
I wouldn't argue with that fact.
Yeah.
I just wanted that established.
Okay. So, I mean, like, Thor, Mjolnir, all that great stuff, but, like, Superman's invulnerable. You can't beat that.
I'm compelled to agree with you, although I will disagree on the invulnerable. He definitely has a handful of weaknesses, which I will come back to.
Such as?
Well, kryptonite and...
Kryptonite, that's one.
Yes.
Okay. Which I don't think that we can... like I said, I don't think anyone would be able to have here.
I'll come back to that.
Okay, fine.
Another thing, and I want to cite a reference here.
Okay.
Are you familiar with film theory?
Film theory?
Yes.
The terrible YouTube series.
It's not terrible.
It's pretty bad.
It's awesome.
It's by the guy that said Ness was Sans, right?
That was a bad theory.
Yes, so film theory, for those of you that are unfamiliar, is a YouTube series by a man named Matt Pat. I don't know his real name. That's his username.
Matthew Patrick.
Is that actually his name?
Yeah, Matt Pat.
Oh, well, I'm not. I'll be damned. I did not
Hi,
know
Matt
that. But he makes absurd theories
about film and gaming.
He got started with gaming, in which he argued that Sans from Undertale is the exact same character.
That's not like his starting point.
As Ness from the Mother Earthbound series. So I don't know. You're gonna have to make a good argument. I don't know if I trust Matt Pat's word right off the bat. What's your argument?
The thing is, I was going to say that he did a bunch of math. Establishing the Kryptonian planet against Earth's, such as Earth versus the Moon, where humans can jump higher and do all that stuff on the Moon. So Superman would be the same way, just to an extremely exaggerated level. That's what I meant by superhuman. Not a superhuman, but a man who is given superhuman abilities based on the sun, based on the Earth,
based on the places that he is. Okay,
yes.
That's fair.
So, there were a few points that he made, and I want to see if you would agree with these or not.
Okay.
He draws power from the sun, which means that he acts in a similar way to plants, in the sense that
Superman's powers are given to him through photosynthesis.
I
love that. I'll agree with you insofar as I'll see where this is going. I don't know if if Superman goes into shade, his powers don't disappear.
No, I know what you mean.
Okay.
But I'm saying is if he has a way to absorb the radiation from the sun, would you say it's plausible that he could potentially absorb bad radiation?
Like if he's in a nuclear blast?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in comic books, he has survived nuclear blasts without a scratch multiple times. So, I guess hypothetically, if he was put under it, let me put it this way: that would be a plot point, but he's survived nuclear blasts before. Okay. So I don't know about that.
This fight is going nowhere. I'm going to retreat for now. I'm going to take my Thor piece and move it back to start.
All right, so
before it gets critically damaged.
We figured if this was going any further, I would make the argument that Superman would be able to lift Thor's hammer, and that would be the end of the fight.
I don't think he can do that.
He is the Boy Scout of the DC
But being
universe.
a Boy Scout doesn't make you worthy. Captain America can't lift it.
He budgeted in the Avengers movie.
So
Avengers
Superman
2.
can budget.
Superman might be able to budget, yes. And I'm just saying it's not out of the question that Superman will be able to pick up Thor's hammer, gain all the powers of Thor, and obliterate Donald Blake to the Nether Realms.
I'm going to say that's not going to happen.
Fair enough. Move on to the next fight.
Okay. Another fight in which I sincerely think Marvel loses. But I will fight my best anyway.
Which are we going for next?
Captain America v. Batman. I thought we were just going down the list.
Oh, okay, let's do it. So Captain America and Batman, the two brains of the operations.
Brains? Iron Man's more the brain. Captain America's more the heart.
Well, okay.
He's the tactics and the leader.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I don't want to hurt my fight here. However, Captain America is one of, if not the single greatest military strategy man in in either universe.
Okay.
So he is the brains insofar as the fighting of it.
Yes, planning out. I was thinking invention smartness.
Invention smartness, that's also Batman. That's Batman. And so, I mean, the thing about Batman is, given any kind of preparation time, Batman figures out a way to beat people.
He is the greatest detective in the world.
He is. I mean, he beat up Superman. I think that he's going to figure out a way to beat Captain America.
I can seem to agree with you, although I want to talk about this fighting ground. Because Batman he gets a lot of his advantages from catching his enemy by surprise.
That's very true.
From the shadows and such like that.
I'll agree with that.
If we were fighting in neutral territory that neither opponent, neither team knew at least a lot about in advance,
okay,
then it could be safe to say that he wouldn't have that much of an advantage here in that regard. He might still be able to catch Captain America off guard, but it wouldn't be as drastic.
He wouldn't have... Okay, I will agree with you insofar as he wouldn't have the geographical knowledge to fight Captain America on the same way he would if it was Gotham City.
What I would say is, how do I put this? I don't think he can start the fight hidden from Captain America. I think they would have to at least both know the other is there.
Right.
And then maybe Batman can retreat to some area and try to sneak up on the Cap.
Well, I mean, listen, Batman is not only known for his stealth abilities.
Okay.
I mean, he's taken down Killer Croc, who is comparable to the Hulk in a lot of ways. Batman v Hulk is a different fight that we probably won't cover here, but that would be an interesting fight. I just love the idea of Batman whispering, oh shoot, what's the thing that...
sun's getting real low.
Sun's getting real low.
Touching his forearm, rubbing up against him.
Bruce, sun's getting real low. Just like calms the Hulk down. No, I mean, like, there are other ways that Batman fights. Primary among them, he is a master martial artist. Like, he's also got the technology. You know the line of, how do you defeat Captain America? How do you
defeat Captain America?
How'd you defeat the guy? Oh wait, how'd you defeat Captain America? We shot him in the leg because his shield is the size of a dinner plate, and he's an idiot. Like, Batman realizes this.
Batman don't use guns though.
But he uses batarangs and swords and other projectiles,
which Mr. America here could probably deflect with a shield.
Yeah, and he also is he knows his way around a gun, I will say, but still, I mean...
Well, so does Cap, but he doesn't primarily use guns.
Right. I will say
it's a gunless battle.
It is a weird line to draw of Batman between using a sword to slice off your enemy's legs.
Batman v Superman confused me.
Yeah.
In that regard.
True point. But I still say that because of Batman's brains and the ability to prep, even if he doesn't know the actual landscape, I mean, he can come up with some device to at least counteract some of Captain America's super soldier serum for long enough to beat him up.
Ah, yes, his super steroids.
All right. So, all right. Well, we covered that.
We'll go to Hulk versus Green Lantern. Here's the first one that I think the Hulk's got it.
I don't think so.
I think the Hulk's got it.
The Green Lantern is formed essentially by it's limited by Hal Jordan's imagination. Like, I mean, he and his willpower to beat the Hulk. And I don't know about you, but if the Hulk was charging at me, I would have a lot of will that I would want to stop that Hulk.
All right, so that's the Green Lantern's limitation. I would say the Hulk doesn't really have any limitations.
What do you mean? If he sees the sun setting, he turns back into Bruce Banner?
No, if he sees Scarlett Johansson with low cleavage, then he turns back into Bruce Banner.
Okay.
Does the Green Lantern have nice cleavage? No.
I mean, hypothetically, the ring could form anything else. But...
If they're fighting, he's not turning back to Bruce.
Okay. All right.
And even if he did, he would turn right back into the Hulk once he knew he was in danger again.
I mean, true. Well... I mean, as we saw in Avengers 3 Infinity War.
I don't think the Green Lantern can scare Hulk as much as Thanos did.
Well, I mean, Thanos is essentially just using a gigantic Green Lantern ring. If you really think about it, he can make anything happen just off the snap of his fingers and his own will. It's so what I'm trying to say is Green Lantern, Thanos, kind of on the same playing field, right?
No.
Yeah, no, I know. That's a bad argument.
I'm gonna give you a lot of things. That's not one of the things you're getting.
That's fair. I wouldn't give that to me either. But you know what? Make me a case as to why the Hulk will be able to defeat the Green Lantern beyond the fact that the Hulk is not going away.
Well, yeah, that's true. The Hulk has this weird thing where his strength isn't really defined. His strength is however much he needs it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Hulk has kept two tectonic plates from shifting apart.
He has.
He's held up like half a planet to keep the rest of the Avengers safe.
He has.
He does that cool thing where he applauds really hard and deafens his foes.
Yeah, that's true. He does cause earthquakes by clapping.
The thunderclap.
Exactly. That's true.
What
okay.
I'm trying to say here is the Hulk gets as strong as the Hulk needs to be. There's no limit to what he can do.
Okay. Well, I will also point out that Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern we were discussing, once merged with Parallax and destroyed many planets and galaxies. Mm-hmm. And I mean, granted, he probably won't be merging with Parallax here, but like his potential is also very high.
I would agree with you that the Hulk can really only be taken on by godlike beings.
Yes.
And I definitely think the Green Lantern and the Hulk would be a cool fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think...
And I do want to point out, we matched these
matched them.
I matched these entirely because they're both green, and that's the only thing that I could see.
But I think it's actually like a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would actually be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
I think we need to spend 5 seconds on this one. Yeah, this is a crappy setup by you.
This was
Black Widow versus Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder.
I wonder that.
You know what? I'm just gonna give that one to you because there's no fucking way. Unless Wonder Woman gets smitten by Scarlett Johansson, which
I will
definitely
say,
can happen.
I will say, the Black Widow is a badass fighter beyond whether or not she's played by Scarlett Johansson.
I'm just doing a bit.
I know. As I'm thinking about this now, maybe Scarlet Witch versus Wonder Woman would have been a better fight.
That's definitely a better fight.
Yeah.
But you know what? No, I'll give this one to you.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman, she's
it's more about the Avengers as a whole versus the Justice League.
Sure, fair enough. We'll pass that one off.
But I wouldn't even know how to argue that.
That's a true point. Wonder Woman wins that case every time.
I do definitely know for a fact who would win out of these next two, but I'm gonna make a case for it anyway. Quicksilver versus Flash.
Flash wins.
Yeah, I would agree. I would argue that as far as speed goes, they're both very, very close. But I think the thing that sets
Quicksilver
Flash...
never time traveled.
Yeah, that's the thing that sets them apart.
Yeah.
Is, what is it? The Speed Force.
The Speed Force, exactly.
I think that's the one thing that puts the Flash over the edge.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, though, the Quicksilver that they have in the X-Men movies is so much fun because he essentially has the ability to stop time.
Yeah.
But it's just never really addressed.
But not travel through
Flash is famous for his ability to go back and forth in time just by running really fast.
It's a shame to say, but Quicksilver could really... I think Quicksilver could go hand in hand with most of the other people on the Justice League's list.
Right, but the first person he has to fight is Flash.
Yes, and there lies the problem.
Exactly.
And I don't really even want to get into it because I just had to say, like, even at my strongest debating power, which is like 6, I do agree with you.
Wait, what's the scale? 1 to 10 or 1 to 100?
You decide.
Either way, it's a 6.
It is a 6. But this one, I can't even... Yeah,
Okay.
I do agree.
Flash. All right, I'm doing pretty good on this. The only one you've won so far is I've allowed you to take Hulk versus Green Lantern. I'm not entirely convinced on that one.
Iron Man versus Cyborg. This one, I gotta say, Iron Man's gonna win.
I don't think so,
really?
Honestly.
All right, tell me about Cyborg.
I mean, Cyborg is badass. If you watched more of the Teen Titans, I'm sure you would realize this.
Well, we're not judging them on badassitude, because in that case, Iron Man would still win. But we're gonna keep arguing.
Well, I mean, first of all, Cyborg is half man, half machine. He's got dominance over machines, insofar as like he possesses the ability to communicate and manipulate machines through his own body. So he hacks through Iron Man's system, fights over. He shuts down Jarvis, or Jarvis is now the Vision. So who? Friday. He shuts down Friday, and then Iron Man, Tony Stark, is just a man in a rigidly confined suit.
I agree that if you shut down the suit, Tony Stark is not going to be kicking any ass.
No, not at all.
But you said a very specific keyword here, if. And I don't think he can.
Why do you say that?
Because Tony Stark, I'm going to go on the assumption, since we've established Friday, that this Tony Stark has dealt with Ultron.
He has dealt with Ultron.
And Ultron was a fucking nightmare.
He was.
I think after that incident, he would take extra special caution to buff up all the defenses of his suit, including hacking methods.
Well, I mean, true, but like Ultron, he also let Ultron run amok to begin with. He probably, I will say this, Tony Stark's main weakness, he's arrogant. He sees a guy, he
is his own weakness.
Exactly. He sees a guy that's half machine, he's like, oh, I got that guy in a second, and starts playing with him, and that's when Victor takes him down and kills off Tony Stark.
How can you be so sure that Iron Man wouldn't just hack Cyborg instead?
What do you mean? Well, first he'd be, because Jarvis doesn't really have that, or Friday doesn't really have that ability. We haven't really seen that exemplified.
Well, just because we haven't seen it, do you think it's not possible?
I mean, I would have a hard time seeing that happen.
I was hoping you'd say no.
And one thing that I will also say, in recent comic books, Cyborg has been able to swim and breathe underwater.
So can Iron Man.
No, he can't.
With the suit.
Oh shoot!
Do you remember Avengers 1?
You're right. He was shown working underwater. I was gonna say he gets a little splashy splash, and then that's the end of the game.
I totally had a Hajime. No, that's wrong.
Yeah. Man.
I caught your contradiction.
All right, that's not it. Fine, that's not a.
That wasn't an argument anyway, really.
That wasn't an argument. That was just an easy shutdown point. But you know what? I'll give you Iron Man because. Yeah,
I need it.
You need it. Next one, Vision and Martian Manhunter.
I want to hear about Martian Manhunter first, not because I don't know about him, because I don't know about him.
You don't know anything about Martian Manhunter?
I know he's a thing that exists.
He's probably the second most powerful superhero after Superman in the DC universe.
Okay.
He's the equivalent. He's the DC's equivalent of Professor X in that he's got the telepathic abilities, the mind reading abilities, the everything Professor X has, the mind powers. He's got Mr. Fantastic's stretchiness. At one point he's as big as a building. He's got Superman's heat wave thing. He can turn visible and invisible on his own will immediately. His only weakness is I will give you this because you clearly don't know anything about Martian Manhunter. His only weakness is fire. That's his kryptonite is fire.
Fire.
And yeah, so Martian Manhunter, John Johns is his name. J'_ONN Johns.
I think this is a good matchup then, because I would also say Vision's probably next to Thor, maybe Hulk. He's one of, if not the second most powerful person on the Avengers.
Right, because he's got the Mind Stone ingrained in his forehead.
He's very, very up there, I would say.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good matchup.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, Martian Manhunter is the most powerful psychic going against the Mind Stone. I mean, like, he can go intangible and fight Vision just like that. He can change his you know how Sandman in the Spider-Man comics?
Oh, so he can change his density and go through things?
Yeah, I mean,
so can Vision.
That's a valid point. It's a valid point. However, we haven't seen Vision take down Martians. We haven't seen him do that.
But I would say I think my biggest case for Vision is Marvel itself.
Okay.
Marvel is it's at least in the movies. This is going off the movies, not the books.
Fair.
Marvel is very good at writing conflicted and heroes that aren't strong enough to overcome an enemy.
Okay.
And in Vision's 2 films before Avengers Infinity War, he was very underutilized because the writers didn't know how to use him because he was so strong.
He is insanely powerful, I will agree.
Yes. He has... I don't know if I would call the mind beam heat-oriented, so I don't know if that would count as a weakness towards Mr. Manhunter.
Mr. Manhunter.
I would love a professor named Mr. Manhunter.
Mr. Manhunter, yes?
Yes.
I'm going to say... You're right, we don't see it starting any fires or anything like that, so it probably wouldn't be fair to just assume that it is.
And Vision's mostly, aside from the Mind Stone itself, he's a robot.
He is a robot.
So, would you think that Mr. Manhunter would be able to read the thoughts of Vision, or the Mind Stone?
Yes, because of the Mind Stone. Exactly because of the Mind Stone.
Can you define the Mind Stone for me?
You've seen the movies.
Yes, but I want to know, it's a specific entity that communicates with Vision but it's not Vision. It's attached to him and gives him his powers.
I mean, it gives him consciousness. So the fact that it gives him consciousness means that it's producing thought.
I don't think it gives him consciousness. I think it's another consciousness that communicates with him. After all, in Infinity War, the whole arc was getting the Mind Stone out of Vision's head so he could still be alive. The only problem was that it was placed in kind of rudimentarily, as if it was never meant to be taken out. But,
And we got that great moment from Shuri just looking over at Bruce Banner, just like, why didn't you do it this way? And Bruce Banner's like,
because we didn't think of it.
We didn't think of it. Yeah, I love that moment in the movie.
So I would argue that Vision is a part of the Mind Stone, or the Mind Stone's a part of Vision, but Vision's not a part of the Mind Stone.
Okay.
So Vision could just ignore what the Mind Stone is saying, whatever it may be, and fight him on his own volition.
Well, I would counteract this with this argument. Does Vision think?
Yes.
He does. Then in that case, Martian Manhunter can read his thoughts and predict his every move.
That's the simple end of it?
That's my argument.
Mm-hmm. Do you have proof to back? Has he ever been able to read the thoughts of just technology?
I don't know the answer to that.
Then it can't be stated as fact.
Fair enough. Fine.
Let's go to Namor versus Aquaman.
Are we calling that one a draw, or are we calling it?
I think we'd leave it as a close draw.
Okay, fine.
Because I think I put up a good fight, and you put up a good fight, and I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Thanks, bud.
All right, Namor versus Aquaman.
Now, before this morning, I knew not who Namor was.
You didn't know the Submariner?
Now, he's very funny looking.
He is very funny.
Kind of looks like Spock in a Speedo.
He does.
I would say.
That's actually a very apt description. I love that. But I mean, he's essentially Aquaman's copy. Aquaman came first. Namor came first. You're right.
You fucking did that to yourself.
Oh God, I
wasn't even gonna bring that up.
I'm gonna clip a corner off my nerd card right for that mistake. Yeah,
we were right here with the what I do last week with the Chris. What was it? The Batman movies. I thought the director was.
Oh, you thought Christian Bale, who played Batman, was a singer.
He's not a director.
He was not the director.
Another clip.
That was Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan directed
I'm gonna run
those
out
movies.
of nerd card.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah. So I mean, Aquaman versus Namor. What are you thinking?
I would say we'll set up a scenario where this playing field has an ocean near it.
I mean, I think you have to, because you have these two people.
Because otherwise, it's just two dudes
just
fighting
duking it out. Yeah, exactly.
It would be fun, but I would say ocean fight.
Okay, ocean fight.
I would say it's like just an ocean. There's sea life in it. I'll give you that, because I know Aquaman can communicate with sea life.
Yes. Can Namor communicate with sea life?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I do know he's got. Here's the thing, Aquaman. How can I put this? He's a little bit of a dweeb.
The running joke of Aquaman just fucking sucks, dude.
But the thing is, Namor is kind of like, he plays dirty. He's not afraid to play dirty.
No, you're right about that. I will say Aquaman is a Boy Scout. Namor is a bit of a dick.
Boy Scouts, they do have weaknesses.
Yes.
Because they hold restraint in certain areas. And I think Namor can definitely use that to an advantage if he plays his cards right.
Okay.
So I think he could definitely find out some ways to counteract Aquaman's animal pals.
Counteract Aquaman's animal pals. I like that. However, I will say that I think that Aquaman's ability to communicate with sea life and establish dominance over them gives him the advantage over Namor, for the simple reason that Namor they basically have the same character, the same powers, except, and I'll tell you this, Namor is a sea king, so he has the entire Atlantean army behind his back, whereas, which, I mean, if we're going by his role in the Avengers, he doesn't really necessarily use that constantly. But Aquaman's basis of power very often includes getting a shark onto land and taking a bite out of Lex Luthor. Then why
not take to the skies? Because Namor can fly, right?
Namor can fly. That's true. That's very true.
That's a simple way to avoid all sea life.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's got one of those giant megalodons who can jump super high out of the water, which would be awesome.
That would be badass.
And I would love to see it.
I would just Aquaman just whips out Jaws out of nowhere for this freaking fight.
He has like a little... Batman gave him a utility belt with like miniaturized like vicious beasts in them.
And it's
like a Pokemon trainer.
Exactly. I was just thinking of like the button that he pushes to summon Jaws is a boat with a bite mark in it. It's like, and when you push it, it just speaks out loud. We're gonna need a bigger boat. And then the shark jumps out.
This has to be a movie now.
Yes, it does. I mean, Aquaman is coming out in December.
I'm kind of not excited for that at all.
Really?
Nope.
The trailer looks fantastic.
I actually haven't seen the trailer, so I will reserve judgment.
Until you gotta see the trailer.
Look,
man.
I'm done with DC unless people tell me it's good. Then I'll go see it.
The trailer for Aquaman looks so much better than everything that DC has put out to date.
Trailers can lie.
Trailers can lie, but I'm optimistic.
Okay. It's weird. You're usually the pessimist.
I am the pessimist, but not when it. But that movie, the most recent trailer had like a 2-minute long solo shot of just a fight between the Black Manta and Aquaman, and it was just so badass that I really am so excited for it.
Great. Let's finish this off quickly.
Yeah,
I'll give
Namor to you because that's also something I think.
Cool.
Hawkeye and Green Arrow. Green Arrow.
I'd say Hawkeye.
Really?
I love the Green Arrow, but he definitely has more flaws than Hawkeye.
I mean, Hawkeye was a villain in the beginning. I mean, Green Arrow knows how to take down... He's got more experience taking down villains.
Yeah, Hawkeye was a villain in the beginning, but we're talking about now. You said it yourself.
Mm-hmm. True enough. Fair enough. But I think that...
I think that experience could only help Hawkeye get into the mind of an enemy.
All right, I'll give that one to you.
Thank you.
Give that one to you. But, yeah... I don't know. Green Arrow is significantly more useful consistently than Hawkeye. He just kind of vanished for the last 2 Avengers movies.
Would you think that Hawkeye is less useful because of the rest of the Avengers are that much stronger? And
Yes.
if you'd say Hawkeye and Green Arrow are on similar playing fields, would you say the Justice League is not as powerful in compared to the Avengers?
Ooh, you took my words and twisted it to make an argument.
Thanks.
So I'm going to retract the point that I just made.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one back. All right, so let's move on to Hawkeye wins that battle.
I did it. I did a debate.
You did a debate. Let's go on to Ant-Man versus the Atom.
So I'm just gonna clarify. The Atom is like Ant-Man in the sense that he can shrink.
Exactly.
Can he grow?
He can grow.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'd say these two are pretty similar.
He can grow, right?
Does he have nice quips?
He is
he
in
quippy?
general, Marvel is significantly more quippy than DC is.
It's just to be expected. I just wanted to clarify. Okay. A tiny man making jokes, I don't know, I have Danny DeVito on the brain.
Okay. I will say, so, the Atom came first, I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Atom can grow. I might have to look that one up later.
I'd say Aquaman.
Aquaman would...
No, I'd say Marvel and DC have copied each other multiple times.
Right, because they're like, wow, that's a great idea. Let me write my own
Let's
character
do this.
Yeah, and that was before copyright laws became so specific as they are now. So you can just do whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Atom is... he's super powerful. So I'm going to go with him. Ant-Man.
Well, Ant-Man's also super powerful.
Oh, wow.
Although, I will give you that he's very inexperienced. If we're talking about the Wasp, I'd say we'd have a real good fight.
Oh, so you're going by the movies on this one?
Well, that's the only thing I can go by.
Oh, okay,
Sad
great.
to say.
Fantastic. The Atom has never been in a movie. So, because he's not exactly one of the more popular Justice League characters. But I'm gonna, then if we're going by Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, I'm gonna go with the Atom for that reason.
It's a shame to say. I'm gonna agree with you. Though I will make sure to point out Ant-Man's usefulness in this overall fight.
Okay.
He's definitely can provide a useful attack on, say, Cyborg, just as he did on Iron Man in Captain America: Civil War.
Well, again, I mean, that's possibly true, but it's the same thing of Quicksilver versus the Flash. While Ant-Man's power of shrinkage and destroy from inside are useful, in order to use them, the first thing he has to do is take out the Atom, which I don't think he's going to be able to do.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I mean, because you're right. Quicksilver and Ant-Man are potentially wrecking the entire fight if they didn't have the parallels that would be stopping them from doing that.
Okay. I'll give that to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Shouldn't have gone with Paul Rudd.
You shouldn't have gone with Paul Rudd at all.
Falcon and the Hawkman.
Do you know anything about Hawkman?
He is a man who also hawks.
He is a man who also hawks.
I'm going to guess, he flies.
He flies.
He has,
He has wings.
yeah.
He has wings.
I was going to say, is he purple?
No, he's not purple.
Is he green?
He's not. His color is really. He doesn't really wear a shirt actually. He has
I
like.
think I've seen him.
Yeah, he has like an X over his chest of like.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've seen this. Yeah. I've seen this dude.
He's got a huge mace, so he's badass. But yes, Hawkman versus the Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
What's your argument for the Falcon?
I would say worked with Steve Rogers, trained with him,
Mm-hmm.
has super awesome tech that would allow him to fly.
Mm-hmm.
If, let's say, both the Falcon and Hawkman's wings got damaged, the Falcon's wings aren't technically a part of him. I'm going with the movie version because that's what I know.
No, you're 100% correct. That's true in the comics too.
If the wings are damaged,
Yes.
he can still be of use and use the robotic wings or what's left of them as shields or as ranged fists, even if he couldn't fly.
I like the ranged fists.
If Hawkman's wings take damage,
It's like breaking an arm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that gives Falcon an advantage here, technology.
I mean, I agree with you that. Mm-hmm. I want to agree with your point, but you didn't use it in the way that I would have. So I'm gonna push back against it. I think that because Falcon's wings are not part of him, it puts him at a disadvantage because it makes him less versatile against damage. You know, Hawkman is experienced with using his wings to as body parts to punch people in the face and things like that. Just like you are more well versed in using your arm to fight than, I don't know, using a robotic arm or something like
Well,
that.
I could learn.
You could
And the
hypothetically learn.
technology is clearly there in this universe to have prosthetic-like abilities.
It is. It is, but still, I'm gonna say that because Hawkman has always had these wings, he is at the advantage, and also he's skilled with a mace. Come in close range with if Falcon flies in close range of Hawkman, he's getting his wings destroyed on the spot.
What if he doesn't fly?
What do you mean? What if Falcon doesn't fly?
What if he stays on the ground, stays low, waits for Hawkman to come to him?
That would be a terrible use of Falcon's powers.
Well,
Because then because if you do that, you're sacrificing your eye in the sky.
If
you're
you're-
sacrificing that strategic ability.
if your opponent can also fly, then flight becomes meaningless in that confrontation.
I disagree with you so much, but it helps my.
Here's the thing. All Falcon has to do is take down Hawkman, then he can take off again.
Yeah, but that's not easy. Which
If
is what I'm
you're
getting
saying that these one-on-one fights, if they can't help each other until they take down their one-on-one opponent, an eye on the sky isn't going to be useful until Hawkman goes down anyway. So the fact that he's on the ground doesn't matter until Hawkman gets taked out.
at. And so, how does that help your argument?
Uh,
Because I mean, like I said, in order to take down Hawkman, you have to hit him, and if you get close to Hawkman, you get taken down.
you could take a defensive stance, wait for a perfect moment, look for counter. You can use Red Wing, his little sidekick.
Oh, tell me more about Red Wing.
He is a hawk in the comics and a robot in the DC. In the DC.
In the DC?
He's in DC? In the movies.
In the movies.
Why did I say DC?
I have no
Jeez.
idea. Yeah, neither do I. So what about how will Red Wing help? He'll just shoot Red Wing at the.
No,
at
I'm
Hawkman?
saying Red Wing takes a huge detour circle to end up behind Hawkman, and if Hawkman's focused on bringing his all towards Falcon, who's playing defensively, Red Wing can get a surprise shot or something like that on Hawkman.
Okay, interesting.
Giving Falcon an upper hand here.
So, I don't know if this is what you're arguing, but I'm going to put words in your mouth for the time being. Are you arguing that Falcon's ability to make ranged attacks helps him in this way?
I want to say yes, but I feel like you have a counterpoint. So.
No, I'm just making sure that that's your point, because that's the point I would make if
That's
I were
what
arguing
I'm
your
saying.
position. Okay,
Put words in my mouth.
then I will give you Falcon over Hawkman.
Yay.
You're welcome. All right, so I mean, all right, we went through the list. I think that DC has a lot more power or I think the Justice League has a lot more power
Yes.
from what we debated.
I agree.
mean, do you have any overall things to argue?
I would say, overall, I would say the Justice League and the Avengers are very, very, very evenly matched, excluding one thing.
What's one thing?
Superman.
Superman.
I think Superman puts the fight in favor of the Justice League. We can look at from the Justice League movie, where the rest of the Justice League basically did nothing as Superman took out the final conflict in that movie. So I think that with Superman, the Justice League will inevitably win this fight.
So are you giving me this fight?
No.
Are you
what
giving
I'm
me the
saying
argument?
is all the Avengers have to do is focus on taking out Superman first.
Okay, so you think that everybody, but that leaves out how many other incredibly superpowered Justice League people to hit them while they're not paying attention.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying is we don't need everyone. I'm saying we just need to figure out how to take him out.
Okay.
Quickly.
And how do you suggest that?
I'm going to
Because these are the tools you have. How do you take him out with these tools?
I'd go simple, and I'd put this on the table. You mentioned it earlier. Why not use kryptonite?
Why not use kryptonite?
Why not?
Because it's a neutral territory. How do you get kryptonite? Kryptonite doesn't even exist in the Marvel universe.
Well, if it's a neutral territory, we can establish that both teams are existing in the same plane of existence.
For this fight, and this fight only.
Yes. But I would say... Man, I was hoping you'd say they were in the shared world.
No.
I had an awesome counterpoint saying...
what was your counterpoint? Let's hear it anyway.
Lex Luthor and Batman have definitely made kryptonite weapons.
They have.
If Iron Man or someone could send off a drone to find one of those weapons, weak to research, I'd say he'd definitely be able to figure out that huge weakness.
If Iron Man was able to get his hands on kryptonite, hypothetically, but I think that I don't think that he would be able. But like I said, they're not in the same universe, and Krypton was not a planet in the Marvel universe. So I don't think that would be a reasonable thing.
Well, what if Batman brought a kryptonite weapon with him?
Why the hell would he do that?
What if he suspected one of the Avengers has the same weakness?
Then who would he think has these? You think Batman would make that rudimentary a mistake in this fight?
I think he would make that assumption.
Why? Who in this lineup makes you think of Superman in the Avengers lineup?
Vision?
Vision? You think Vision, he would look at the robot Vision and think, man, if only I had some kryptonite to take him down. It's just a rock to everybody that isn't a Kryptonian. There we go.
All right, then what about a Justice League member who has access to the Batcave and is not as smart as Batman?
You're arguing that Aquaman would go in.
I was gonna say the Flash.
Oh, okay. No, I think
Barry.
I think Barry Allen is too smart for that. I think Aquaman would be the one to screw that up.
So then Namor could be like, haha, you cannot defeat me.
Yeah.
If only you had my one weakness, which is kryptonite, because I am also from Krypton. Wink. Because he can play dirty.
He could play very dirty. I think that's a stretch.
That's all I wanted you to say. A stretch. Because the Avengers are not about putting the odds in their favor. They're about hoping that they will win.
That's it. That's all they got. They got hope, and that's it. That's not a very strong argument.
It is my argument.
Okay, great. I think I'm gonna say that the Justice League has claimed this victory.
Yeah, they have.
Yes. So I'm gonna...
Well, no, actually, no. You tell us who won.
Are you talking to the audience?
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Who won?
Okay, please do.
Because I'm curious. I think I definitely did a lot better than I thought I was going to do.
I think that you left out some very good points that like I said, I think that I'm going to put down my facade. And I'm going to say that I think the Avengers would have won for a couple reasons that I think you left out.
Well, like I said...
For reason number one, Thor's power comes from magic. Superman is weak to magic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that you were gonna bring that up, and I was like, okay, well there goes my main piece. But I was waiting for that. And number two is that very fundamentally, the Avengers were built to act as a team, led by Steve Rogers, the greatest military strategist in either universe. And the Justice Leagues are all individual superheroes mishmashed together with the general overall purpose of saving the world, whatever that means.
But your whole thing was about these heroes going on 1v1 before they break up into a team.
Yeah, it's almost like I picked a way to fight that would benefit me.
Yeah, but you did. I'm gonna give you credit. You did establish those rules before I picked a side.
Because I knew
you let me pick a side.
I knew you would pick the Avengers.
Yeah,
because I knew that was what you were.
You're a real
familiar
manipulative dick for that.
with. Yeah, I know. But yeah, so like the Avengers fight as a team, and I don't think that's a thing you can ignore when dealing with these two things, and I think that will put them over the edge.
So you think Marvel would win?
I think the Avengers would win. 100%.
So thanks to my shitty debate skills, your true feelings have lost, and my true feelings have won. I made you debate the side I thought would win because I was not competent in my own abilities. I am the victor!
So you manipulated me into manipulating you to get your result.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a...
I am a genius.
All right, great. Well, leave a comment as to if you can make any sense of what Alex just said.
I know I can.
Please leave a comment and let us know what you think, who you think won this debate. Oh, man.
Well, I'm pooped.
Shall we pick the next week's challenge?
Here, I'll do it, but take
Okay.
the bucket.
All right, here's the bucket. I'm mixing them up. All right, what do you think? What is it? What is it?
Water. You waiting for?
Oh, what is this?
This one's very good for me because I am not a water drinker. Drink only water for a whole week. Not holy. Did I say holy water?
Drink holy water for a whole week.
Kill the vampire within you. Try to drink at least the recommended half-gallon a day.
That is a lot of water. Is that really what it's recommended?
It's just like that's too. Maybe I'm gonna re-research that.
No, because
I thought it was 2 quarts.
2 quarts?
Or is that a pint?
No. Okay, so
it's 8 cups.
It's 8 cups. How many are in like a normal water bottle, like a Poland Spring water bottle? How many are in that?
Well, let's check.
Let's check. Oh, we got one right here.
Yep.
Okay, so we have.
It is. Let's see.
It's 500 milliliters.
1 pint.
500 milliliters, which comes at... Okay, hold on. How many liters in a gallon?
Oh, sorry. This is important.
This is important. How many liters in a gallon? There are about 3.8 liters in 1 gallon, so you have to drink about 4 of these every day.
That sounds right.
No, 8 of these every day.
That sounds less right.
That sounds less right.
So I'd say probably just drink enough water. Drink plenty of water.
Drink lots of water this week. That's the goal.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge. All right. So, and then we'll talk about next week as to how our water drinking went. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
That's gonna be such a thrilling episode.
We'll find some way to make it entertaining.
I drank so much water, bro.
Oh my god, it's gonna be great. This is great preparation for Aquaman, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We should have done a promotional Undertaking with Aquaman about water.
We should contact DC.
They'd totally be into it, especially considering you dominated this argument.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
They'd love it.
It was planned.
They'd be like, wow, this guy is so good. Hey, I'm sure we're going to pay him to talk about Aquaman to his 10 followers.
No, we're going to pay for him to talk about water.
Yeah. Which, sponsored by Aquaman. All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed us, please follow us on all social medias at It's the Oxymorons. And if you didn't like us, please follow us anyway. We're lonely.
Yeah.
We have a lot of artists that contributed to making this podcast what it is.
And you'll find all 2 of them in the description.
Yes, thank you to Adam and Winston for your continued support.
You guys are so cool.
Yeah, and their information, is, like Alex said, is in the description.
Adam, why won't you call me? I've been waiting.
He's mine. Excuse you.
No, I want him. Come to me.
Ew, never make that noise again.
It's okay.
Yeah. Anything else that we need to add? Any announcements or anything?
Just say goodbye.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for listening to us. Until next week, don't forget to challenge yourself.
And try something new.
All right.
Like debating.
Make yourself more argumentative.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.